There's a moment, if you're lucky enough to witness it, when a bald eagle locks its eyes onto something far below and commits. Not glances, not checks, commits. And what happens next is so impossibly fast, so brutally precise, that your brain genuinely struggles to process it. We'll get to exactly what that looks like in a moment. But first, I need you to understand something. Almost everything you think you know about eagles, the strength, the vision, the sheer scale of what they're capable of, you're probably still underestimating it. These aren't just impressive birds. They are, by almost every measure, one of the most extraordinary animals that has ever existed on this planet. And today, we're going to prove that. 5 facts about eagles that are completely real, completely verified by science. And yet, every single time I share them, people refuse to believe me at first. Let's start with the one that genuinely made me stop what I was doing the first time I read it. Fact 1. Eagles can see a rabbit from nearly 2 miles away. 2 miles. Think about that for a second. If you stood at one end of a long stretch of highway and tried to spot a rabbit sitting at the other end, a rabbit, you wouldn't even know something was there. You'd see nothing but a blur. An eagle, circling silently at altitude, would not only see it, it would be tracking it, studying it, deciding whether it was worth the descent. Here's what makes eagle vision so different from ours. We have one fovea in each eye. That's the small pit in the retina where our sharpest vision comes from. Eagles have two foveae per eye, which means they can process sharp detail from 2 completely different angles simultaneously, without moving their head at all. And here's where it gets really interesting. The density of light-sensitive cells in an eagle's eye is roughly 5 times greater than in a human eye. 5 times. That means the level of detail they pick up from the same scene is in a completely different category from what we experience. There's more. Eagles can also see into the ultraviolet spectrum, UV light, the kind we can't see at all. And the reason that matters, the reason evolution handed them this ability, is that small mammals like mice and voles leave trails of urine as they move through grass. Those urine trails glow under UV light. So an eagle soaring 1,000 feet overhead isn't just looking for movement. It's literally following glowing footprints that are completely invisible to us. I still find that genuinely difficult to wrap my head around. They're hunting in a version of reality that we don't have access to. Fact 2. An eagle's grip is 10 times stronger than a human hand, and it cannot let go voluntarily mid-dive. The talons of a bald eagle can exert around 400 pounds of pressure per square inch. The average human grip is somewhere around 40 to 60 pounds. So we're talking about 10 times the crushing force, delivered through 4 curved hooks of keratin designed to punch through flesh and lock on. That's the sounds fake part number 1. But here's the part that really gets people. When an eagle strikes prey at full speed, the grip doesn't engage because the eagle decides to grab. It engages automatically. The tendons in an eagle's leg are structured so that the impact of the strike itself causes the talons to clench. It's a mechanical reflex, not a conscious decision. The bird doesn't think grab now. The physics of the strike does it for them. And once locked, an eagle's talons stay locked until the leg straightens. Which means, in certain situations, if an eagle misjudges a target, say a fish that turns out to be too heavy or prey in deep water, it genuinely cannot release immediately. There are documented cases of bald eagles being dragged underwater by fish too large to lift, unable to let go quickly enough. Some eagles have drowned this way. Others have been spotted swimming to shore using their wings as oars, something that looks completely absurd until you understand what's actually happening biomechanically. The grip that makes them apex predators can, in rare moments, become a trap. Fact 3. Eagles mate for life, and they test each other before committing. This one sounds like something from a nature documentary that was written to make humans feel things. And honestly, it kind of is, but it's also completely real. Bald eagles are monogamous. When they find a partner, they stay with that partner for life. They return to the same nest year after year, adding new material each season until some of these nests become genuinely enormous. The largest bald eagle nest ever recorded weighed nearly 3 tons. 3 tons, built by 2 birds, twig by twig, over the course of many years together. But what people don't usually mention is what happens before that commitment. Before a pair of eagles bond permanently, they perform what researchers call a courtship ritual, and the centerpiece of it is one of the most dramatic things in the natural world. The 2 eagles fly to a high altitude together, lock talons, and then free fall, spinning, cartwheeling toward the ground together. They only release and pull out of the dive at the last possible moment before impact. Think about what that actually is. 2 animals testing each other's nerve, their reflexes, their synchronicity, and their willingness to trust each other with their lives before deciding to spend their entire lives together. Whether you read that as pure instinct or something more, the behavior itself is extraordinary. And here's what makes it even more remarkable. If one partner dies, the surviving eagle will eventually find another mate. But the bond, while it exists, is absolute. Fact 4. A golden eagle can dive at over 150 miles per hour, and its body is engineered to survive it. We've already talked about the peregrine falcon's legendary dive speed, and yes, the peregrine holds the record for fastest animal on Earth at over 240 miles per hour in a stoop. But what often goes unmentioned is the golden eagle, which can hit 150 miles per hour in a dive. And what makes that speed almost more impressive is what it does at the bottom of that dive. A peregrine usually strikes and stuns its prey mid-air. A golden eagle is hitting a target on the ground at 150 miles per hour, and it survives that impact, controls the landing, and walks away with prey in its talons. The engineering required for that is incredible. The bones of an eagle are hollow but reinforced with internal struts. Imagine a steel scaffold inside a tube. The skull is cushioned. The neck muscles absorb enormous G-forces. And the feathers, particularly around the leading edges of the wings, are structured to manage airflow at speeds that would send most birds tumbling out of control. There's a reason falconers, aerospace engineers, and biologists all study eagle flight. The solution's evolution found to the problem of how do you hit something at 150 miles per hour and not destroy yourself are genuinely applicable to aircraft design. Nature solved this problem millions of years before we started trying. Fact 5. Eagles have been recorded lifting prey heavier than themselves, but they almost never do it. Here's the fact that sounds fake. Eagles are physically capable of lifting animals heavier than their own body weight. There are verified accounts of bald eagles lifting prey weighing up to 15 pounds, while the eagle itself weighs around 10. The mathematics of that, the physics of a bird getting airborne while carrying more than its own weight, seems like it shouldn't work. And yet, and this is the part one find almost more fascinating, eagles almost never actually do this. Not because they can't, because they've learned not to. Eagles are intelligent enough to assess prey before committing to a strike. They calculate to a remarkable degree of accuracy whether what they're targeting is something they can carry or something that's going to cause problems. The incidents where eagles take on prey that's too heavy are almost always situations where the assessment went wrong. A fish that was bigger under the water than it appeared, prey that fought harder than expected. What this tells us is something that goes beyond raw physical ability. Eagles aren't just powerful, they're strategic. They hunt with a level of patience and calculation that we usually associate with much larger, much more cognitively complex animals. They will circle for extended periods, waiting for exactly the right moment. They will use the sun to their advantage, approaching prey with the sun behind them, so their shadow doesn't trigger an escape response. They plan, in their own way, within the logic of predator and prey, they think. And so here we are, an animal that sees in ultraviolet, grips with 10 times human strength, commits to a lifelong partner through a free-fall test of trust, dives at speeds that required millions of years of engineering to make survivable, and hunts with a patience and strategy that most predators on Earth simply don't possess. The next time you see an eagle in the wild, in a photograph, anywhere, I hope you see it slightly differently now. Not just as a large, impressive bird, but as a creature operating at a level of biological refinement that took nature an almost unimaginable amount of time to build. That, to me, is what makes them worth knowing about. Not just what they can do, but how impossibly well-designed they are to do it. If you found something in here that genuinely surprised you, I'd love to know which fact hit the hardest. Drop in the comments below. And if you want more of this, more of the stories behind the animals we think we know, then stick around. There's a lot more in the files.